Okay, so I know some people can't make the meeting or have other things going on, so I am recording the meeting too, so I'll send it out to anybody who missed it. Let me make sure everybody's on the call. Let me see. All right, it's 6 o'clock. I'll get started. Promise we won't keep you too long. And I know it's dinner time, so thank y'all for joining us. We'll keep it fun. I know it's virtual. I wish we could do it in person, but we'll make the best of it, I promise. So my name's Natalie Ramos. I'm a Better Living for Texans agent here in Bexar County, and we provide nutrition and exercise classes for seniors, and now we're allowed to do the little ones, so preschool age children as well. We also have a curriculum coming out for middle schools, so be on the lookout for that. And we'll get started. I also have Mary Masterson. She does exactly what I do. She's my coworker, and she's on the call as well, and she'll be helping me out throughout the training too. Mary, you want to show your face?
Can you see me?
Maybe not. Maybe it's because I can't see you. Let me see. It might be because I'm sharing my screen. Let me unshare. There we go. Maybe.
Hi, thank you all for joining today. I hope you have fun with this curriculum. We're going to try to help you as much as we can.
Thank you, Mary. All right, back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so a brief introduction. So Color Me Healthy, it's a SNAP-Ed nutrition curriculum, and it's geared for children ages 4 and 5. And so it's a very interactive, this age group they like that stimulation and music and things like that. So it has a lot of that in it. And so it's designed to stimulate the 5 senses and encourage children to make healthy food choices. And it's 9 sequential lessons. So it's 9 weeks, and the lessons are not that long. They're about 20 to 30 minutes. So depending on if you have it, because there's taste tests in most of the lessons, so that might take a little bit longer, but really they should be around 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more depending. But if y'all have any questions also throughout this training, type them in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself because sometimes I might miss it. Just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask away, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. And so what are the objectives of Color Me Healthy? And so Color Me Healthy, it's a curriculum. It's designed for children to explore a variety of healthy foods. That's the main objective. So we're going to get them to taste new foods, and healthy habits start at this age, I think. And so if they see their friends doing it or their classmates, they're probably going to try that vegetable too if they see other people doing it. So this is a great age to expose them to new fruits and vegetables. Another big one is identifying opportunities for physical activity outside of school. So not just being active during playtime or recess, but also finding opportunities to exercise with their families, go to the park and exercise at home, and get their parents adopting those healthy habits too. And then also a big one too, especially since they're going to be tasting food, we want them to practice the proper steps in hand washing. So that is also an objective that's going to be repeated throughout each of the lessons. So you'll do some hand washing steps. And there's also some, I think y'all got that poster. We delivered those kits to y'all last week. And so you have that hand washing poster, so you can bring that out whenever, or even keep it up in your classroom. So that's a big one. And then another one is making healthier beverage choices. So it's so easy to buy a soda, and kids love those sugary drinks, but we want them to be able to recognize that, water is a healthier choice. And then another one, the last but not least, is associating common foods with their origin. So where do foods come from? They don't come from the grocery store. They come from trees. They come from the ground. So we get them to recognize that too. And so what do you need to implement the Color Me Healthy series? You don't need much because we provided everything for you, really. And we're also going to be dropping in weekly to give you food for the taste tests. And they're not extravagant recipes, so don't worry about having to cook anything. We're going to prep everything for you, too. And so I also have a video of Mary. She's going to show you what's in that kit. So if you want to bring your kits, if you have those with you right now, now's a good time to look through it to see if you're missing anything. So I'm going to play that video. I hope it works. That way you can see what's in that toolkit and just get familiar with everything. So let me bring it up. There it is.
Thank you, Natalie. Well, it's so exciting to get your kit. We're going to go over a few things about your kit today. So when you open your kit, you're going to find the kit content page, and you can just check your kit off with this. Color Me Healthy Teacher's Guide. Here it is. Your teacher's guide is in here, and also some posters that you're going to need. This is your folder with the paperwork in it. It'll have attendance sheets and so forth. You get this beautiful poster, wash your hands. You can have it up in your classroom if you don't have one throughout the whole series. And each lesson is going to be labeled. So if a lesson calls for a resource or material that you would need, it would be in your kit. Say, for example, lesson number 4, brown bag mystery. So these are the brown bags that go with that lesson. Or try new food, song props. The kids will be playing with these, but you're going to have these in your kit and it'll be clearly marked. Hopefully we've eliminated any confusion that you may have and everything is labeled very clearly so that you can, all you have to do is teach it.
Okay, were y'all able to hear that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, hopefully. Okay, so that's everything that's in your toolkit. If you're missing anything in there, I know she didn't cover like everything one by one, but you should have those props. Also, there's a sponge in there to talk about, that's for the dairy lesson, to talk about osteoporosis. So that kind of shows what a unhealthy bone looks like for the dairy lesson. And those brown paper bags, that's my favorite lesson too. That's for lesson 4, the brown paper bag mystery. So everything's in there and everything's clearly labeled. So just let me know if you happen to come across something when you're going through the teacher's guide that you might be missing. Let me know and we'll get it to you. That way you can have everything to teach the classes. Another thing that you might need, I know they're kind of outdated right now, CD players, because there is music, like I said, in a lot of the lessons, actually most of the lessons. But if you don't have a CD player, we can send you the MP3s as well, or they're also on YouTube, I think. So the CD player is, yeah, it should be in this toolkit. If not, let me know. I also want to go through these really quick. I know y'all got like this folder with a bunch of handouts in there. So this is basically all the paperwork that you're going to need to teach the classes. Let me stop sharing. That way I can go through this with you really quick. Okay, so this red folder, we basically provided all the handouts for you that you're going to need. In the very first pocket, you're going to see recipes. And so the recipes they're all printed for you right there. You can of course make copies. We also have a USB that has everything in here in paper form. If you need to make extra copies, obviously you are going to have to, especially for the newsletters that are sent home weekly with the parents. You can make copies there. So everything's really at your fingertips here in that USB. And then, so the parent letters, they're in English and Spanish. Those get sent home the first week. And that's important just to let the parents know that they are going to be participating in a Color Me Healthy classroom. Also, it's a good time for parents to let us know if they have any allergies to specific foods. So they are going to be trying different fruits and vegetables. So we just want to make sure that they don't have If they are allergic to something, we can bring something in place. That way they don't feel left out when they see everybody tasting food and they can't taste anything. So we just want to make sure that we know what they're allergic to before we start teaching the classes. And then attendance sheets. So we went ahead and printed all 9 for you. So these are really important to us. And if you have any questions on these, let us know. But basically, you're going to fill out your demographics for the classroom, and we'll be collecting these every time we drop the food off weekly. And they're pretty straightforward, but we'll check them for you on the first week just to make sure you filled them out right. All you got to do is just sign. And if you have any volunteers that help too, if you can list their names on the back, that helps a lot for us in our evaluations. And so also there's the newsletters, like I mentioned. So these are great to bring the lessons home with the kids. So that way they can show their parents what they learned in the class, but they also get recipes that they can try at home, and also some physical activity that they can do with their parents too. And those are in Spanish too. And then last but not least, they get certificates of completion for finishing the series. So they get little graduation certificates. This is perfect for like a picture day. They can take pictures with their certificates of completion. And then there's also evaluations in there. So teachers, they're like 3 questions. They're not that in depth, but basically to see how they're improving or if they're willing to try new vegetables. It's really important for us, and we'll go into these a little bit later. But the surveys and then the parent surveys too, which only has a few questions on there too. So that's everything you need as far as paperwork. And then the main thing that's in that toolkit is the teacher's guide. So this basically breaks down each lesson for you. And it also has additional lessons. So let's say you have a day where the kids are going crazy, you don't know what to do. There's also extra lessons in there that you're welcome to play around with and teach. So there's supplemental lessons in there that are way beyond the only 9 lessons too. All right, so back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So like I said, I went through that already. The supply list, taste tests, parent handouts, attendance rosters, your evaluations, and then the posters too. So you also have posters in that toolkit, which go with the lesson. So you'll know, for example, it shows like different colors of food, some visual things to help out with the classes. There's also pictures of like trees where they're grown, like blueberries, they're grown in a bush, and it shows things that you can bring out to help teach. And then before we start, I just really want to thank everybody. Like I said, Healthy Habits, they start at a young age. So I'm excited to be on this journey with y'all and helping young Texans better their lives. And not only that, they'll be bringing these healthy habits home and encourage their families to get on board with adopting healthier habits. So that's really our main goal of this series. And we hope that we can expand this to more daycares. We had 5 when we first started. Now we have 15, and we're hoping to just expand all over San Antonio because there's so many. And this will really help us if y'all can help us get on board with this. So thank y'all. And so I'm not going to go through each and every one of the lessons or teach y'all how to teach it because everybody has their own, teaching style. So if you want to bring out additional things, you sure can. If you have like extra food in the classroom or extra props too, like food props that maybe something different, like maybe somebody had mushrooms for lunch. You want to show your kids what mushrooms look like. You can make it as fun as and interactive and different as you'd like. So everybody has their own type of teaching style. So we're not telling you to teach it this specific way. So feel free to play around with it. That's what it's for. And so lesson 1, it's really just the introduction. And I do recommend like these lessons should be taught in a circle. So that way it's interactive and they feel comfortable with sharing. And so everything should be done in like circle time too, if you were able to. And like I said, the first lesson is also the pretty much the housekeeping, sending that parent letter home, also making sure that kids don't have any allergies to certain foods. And then you will be going through action steps 1 through 8 on page 2 of the Color Me Healthy Teacher's Guide. So I recommend referring back to this PowerPoint and it's on that USB, and I'll send it out to you too in an email just so you can follow along with the lessons, because if you were to just read this book from start to finish, it kind of goes out of order. But on the PowerPoint, it shows you the order of the lessons and how they should go. So for example, lesson 1, it's on page 2. And then lesson 2, eating a rainbow of colors, that's on page 3. And then it kind of skips. So lesson 3, try new foods, it's on page 5. And so I also have a video of lesson 3 just to show you how the class should go. This is done by our family community health agent, Angie Gutierrez. She provided a quick video on how, like a mock lesson of how lesson 3 should go. So this will kind of give you an idea of how the classes should go.
If you have a favorite food, you can try a new one.
Hi, I'm Angie Gutierrez, Family and Community Health Agent with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. I'm excited to be here with you today to actually demonstrate lesson 3 of Color Me Healthy. The name of the lesson is Try New Foods. So, first thing I want you to do is open your page, your teacher guide to page 5. It's actually going to go over everything you're going to need and the action steps. Before we get started, I do want to mention, like Natalie said in the previous lesson, most important is to make sure you complete your attendance sheet. This is going to be very important. And then also remember to send out your parent letter. We have them in English and Spanish. All right, so now turn to page 5. Some of the props that you'll be needing, as you see here on my table, are going to be the different fruits and vegetables. So you are going to have these props on your kits like corn, you're going to have pear, you're going to have some strawberries, some mushrooms, carrots, sections keeps your gum healthy, and it also, your fruits and vegetables contain fiber, and fiber, what it helps you with to digest your food. So today we're going to talk a little bit about all the different fruits and vegetables. Another prop you're going to have in your kit is color of food poster, and it incorporates all the different colors and different samples. So you will also have your color cards, like the ones Natalie showed you on a previous lesson. Has the different colors. In the back, it has some samples of different fruits and vegetables. When you're showing the kids the posters, it's really important to ask them, have you tried an apple? Have you tried corn? Ask them different questions to encourage them to discuss. And if they did try a particular fruit or vegetables, you can also ask them questions like, what did it taste like? Was it soft? Was it crunchy? Was it sour? Encourage the vocabulary by asking them those questions. All right. Another prop you're going to have in your kit is your hand washing poster. Like Natalie mentioned, most of the lessons will have some type of recipe. So it's really important to practice food safety. One of the food safety fight back rules we're going to focus on is clean, proper way of washing hands, and we will demonstrate that. You might also want to have a sanitizer. You want to use gloves because when you do prepare the recipe or give out samples, you want to use gloves. You can borrow a colander from your cook if you have one, so you can also demonstrate how to clean your berries and strawberries in a colander. All right, so let's get started. So one of the things I want to share with you on your teacher's guide, I want you to look at the actual tab that has the songs, and that would be the green tab. So once you open the green tab, you look for the song that we're going to be learning today, and it's called Try New Foods, and that is going to be on page 38. So what we're going to do together, we're going to stop the video, I'm going to have everybody stand up and we're actually going to sing the song together as a group. Now, I also want to share, this is when you incorporate your actual props. You're going to have 8 different fruits and vegetables. When you do the song, we encourage you to do it at circle time, and you can pass out one of these to a child, maybe the child that's doing great for the day. When you hear the song and you hear the apple, you have them stand up. When you hear the pear, have them stand up. And it's going to take practice, so it's okay to play it more than one time. This will also encourage, if for some reason you have more than 8 kids in your circle time, have them bring out some instruments or maybe some homemade toys like little rattles that they can actually use. I want to encourage you is there's no right or wrong way to do this song as long as you're moving and having fun. So I'm going to pause our video and then I want everybody to find these in your kids and everybody stand up.
Okay, we're not
Well,
singing.
welcome back. I hope you had some fun doing that song. Again, it's going to take practice. You can do it any way you like, instruments or even props. Now we're going to get going to our food safety component. And it's really important. You're actually going to find some more details on your food safety component and your recipe in this packet. You look for your lesson 3 and you look for your taste test. For this, we're going to be trying different vegetables and we'll be providing some of the samples. But before we try our samples, it's really important to focus on food safety. So most important is showing the kids the proper way of washing hands. How many of you know how many seconds you should wash your hands for? Correct, 20 seconds. So what we're going to do is actually demonstrating by singing Happy Birthday to Me twice. And you want the kids to do this, so I encourage you to practice as well. We're going to pretend we have some soap. And then remember to tell the kids to wash their hands, kind of scrub in between their fingers, under their nails. And here we go. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Second time. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. So that is roughly about 20 seconds. Now, it's not only important to wash your hands before we touch any of our fruits and vegetables, we also want to encourage them that if they are at home doing some of these recipes, we want them to know how to wash fruits, vegetables at home. So I have an example here. It could be any fruit, and you can demonstrate it from any fruit that you have here. I have an apple, and I have a vegetable brush. So you can encourage them or even practice with the kids, have running water, and scrub your fruit and vegetable. Round and round and round, because we know some of our fruits and vegetables come from the ground, they fall from a tree, and they get some of the dirt. They even get pesticide. And I know pesticide's a big word, but you can use its medicine to prevent bugs from eating our fruits and vegetables. You can go one step further. And like I mentioned, borrow a colander from the kitchen. And this is actually to demonstrate how to wash your berries. So I'm going to get my strawberries in here, pretend you turn on the water, kind of move around, make sure that all that dirt comes out. And that's the proper way of washing any type of berries. So you can let them know if you have one of these, it's like the ones where you put your spaghetti, or you can use it for your fruits and vegetables. And then teachers, just remember, since you are going to be preparing some of the recipes or giving out samples, make sure, of course, wash your hands, use some sanitizer, but go even one step further by using your gloves. So those are our food safety protocol or procedures. So just to review, today we talked a little bit about the difference of eating different types of fruits and vegetables to incorporate all the different colors of the rainbow. We encourage to describe how does it taste? Do you hear a sound? What does it look like? To encourage group discussion. So if you have any questions, this is the time for some questions and answers. So thank you so much for your time.
All right, so that was Angie on her lesson. So she kind of gives you a little idea how the class should be taught. So you have a lot of those things that she brought out, the props, like the poster with the sticker with the different foods on there. It's also in your red toolkit as well. I was going to try to bring it out too, but it's in there. And if it's not, let me know. Also, I think there was a question. Hold on one second. I think I saw a question. And sorry, it went mute for a little bit, but if you need the beginning, I won't replay it, but yeah, you just missed the introduction, really. I think Kathy asked how many kids can participate in each of the 9 weeks. So really, ideally, it's good for maybe about 20 to 30. But if you have more, 30 to 40, that's okay. Let me know and get with me. But ideally, no more than around 50 at a time. Just let me know. Okay, so lesson 4, that's my favorite lesson. So the brown paper bags, it's kind of like they're going on a mystery to figure out, they're going to play detectives on what's inside the brown paper bag without looking at it. So they'll use their 5 senses, they'll smell it first and try to guess. There'll probably be like a banana in there. They can touch it and then smell it and then try to guess what it is. Well, and I know a lot of them are going to try to blurt out the answer, but try to get everybody to guess first before they start blurting it out. I know that's pretty hard. But yeah, that's one of my favorite lessons. And then you'll see red wagon stamped. So when we have a taste test, we want, and if you have stickers or something even better than that stamp, that go ahead. But if they try a food, it also encourages them to try it because they get a stamp on their hand. So there's a red wagon stamp that they'll be getting after they try the food. Lesson 5 talks about physical activity. So this is the physical activity component. They're going to be moving around in this lesson, and they're also going to be tasting broccoli that day with different types of dips. And so, like I said, it's kind of confusing because this goes from page 5, and then we're going to go to page 4 for lesson 5. So just refer back to the PowerPoint so you don't get kind of confused on where the lessons are. That way you know what page number corresponds with each lesson. So when you go in here, just make sure, if you have questions on this, it's kind of confusing, let me know. But follow the PowerPoint and you won't get lost. And then lesson 6 is another physical activity lesson. So they're going to be tasting water with fruit in it, and then also another type of this is it focuses on the objective of healthy beverage choices. So they're going to have different types of infused water as well as juice mixed with water too. And then lesson 7 focuses on dairy, and this one is also an interactive lesson. You can also bring up osteoporosis during this lesson. I know that's a big word, but you can talk about bone disease and show them that sponge and show them why it's important to have dairy and where it comes from. And then I also mentioned here on lesson 7 to provide the parent feedback questionnaire. Since I know it's not the last lesson, but I encourage y'all to return those surveys to the parents on lesson 7. That way they can fill those out in time for them to. So some parents might forget to bring them on the last lesson. So start giving out the surveys during lesson 7. That way you can have them back by lesson 9. And there are only a few questions on there. They can even fill them out there when they come to pick up the child. Lesson 8 focuses on where the colors grow. This one's great too. So they're going to figure out where food comes from. And so you're going to complete Where Do the Colors Grow lesson on page 12 of the teacher's guide and go through those action steps with them. And then they're going to taste different types of apples. And they're also, this is another time to provide those parent feedback questionnaires. Maybe a kid missed last week and the parents didn't get one. So if you have more of those surveys, hand them out during that time. And then if you have parents that completed some from last week, go ahead and collect those. And so, yeah, we'll be bringing different types of apples for them to taste. This is a good one too. And then lesson 9, healthy snack choices. So completing snack attack on lesson 9 of the teacher's guide and complete action steps 1 through 6. And then they're going to make their own whole grain trail mix. So they're going to mix up little ingredients to make their own little whole grain trail mix taste test. And then this is the last session. So they'll get their certificates of completion. Also, the teachers, if you can turn in your feedback surveys to us during that time. And that's really all the 9 lessons. I know I went through them kind of fast, but y'all get the gist. And if you don't, let me know. Let me know. Also, remember to reinforce that hand washing every time they do a taste test. Like Angie said, with the 20 seconds, happy birthday, maybe do that before they try something. And yeah, that's the 9 lessons there. Any questions so far? Oops. Okay. And then data collection. So that's pretty important to us. I know I mentioned it a couple of times already. So these attendance sheets that I showed y'all that are in those laminated sheets, if you can turn those into us weekly, if you have any questions on those or not sure how to fill those out, I'll walk you through them. They're pretty simple. And then it's just really important to provide that information since we are federally funded. It helps with our funding. And it also helps us to see if we're making an impact out there. Just to see if kids are encouraged to try new fruits and vegetables. And so just make sure, that's why I said to turn in those surveys around lesson 7. That way we can get as many as we can back. That would be great. That's all we really need from on y'all's part. And then also there's so many supplemental lessons in here, and there's also some books. So you have 2 books in there. Around maybe if you have story time, you can show them those books, read them those books, Eating the Alphabet, and then I Am an Apple. They don't go with a specific lesson, but I Am an Apple would be perfect for the apples taste test. And also, yeah, the Eating the Alphabet too. You can read that whenever. And if you want to read it multiple times, you sure can. So yeah, so what we really want to make sure, since it is a 9-week series, and we are going to be dropping in weekly to provide those taste tests, is getting with us and letting us know what day of the week would be best for you to teach it. That way it's on a consistent schedule and we drop in the day before, or maybe that morning if you're going to teach it in the afternoon with the food. So I guess after this training, I'll correspond with you either by email or phone or both, and you can get with me on a date. And also we'll send you like a little confirmation letter and a certificate of completion that you did this training with us. And just we'll try to work out any kinks as far as making sure scheduling a day of the week that'll work best for y'all to teach the class. And then let's say you want to teach it on a Wednesday in the morning, then we'll come Tuesday afternoon and drop off the food to your center. And also a good time to give us a location of where your centers are or where would be the best place to drop them off for you. And then we'll also collect attendance sheets after that, after your first lesson, whenever it'll be like a little switch off. We'll give you the food and then the attendance sheets. And then that's my information there. I know some of y'all have my cell phone too, since we did those kit deliveries. Also, I wanted to give you a demonstration of how a taste test should go. They're really simple recipes. Like I said, the fruity water. They also do the broccoli, the tiny trees with delicious dips. And then I think the vegetable adventure is really easy. So we'll cut up some vegetables for them and then they'll get to taste those.
Do the taste test for lesson 3, which is a vegetable adventure. And the recipes are in this blue folder, and they are in order. So it's going to be your 3rd recipe in this blue folder here. And it's taste test vegetable adventure. And so we selected 4 vegetables for the children to try. And before we deliver this food to you, it will be sent to you in this fashion. So we'll make sure that everything's prepped and washed and cut up for you if necessary. And so I have tomatoes. So they're gonna each get 1 of each. Snap peas and squash, yellow squash, and a carrot. And so that's basically all you need to do for the prepping part on your part. So the children are each going to get a plate just like this, very colorful looking, and we're going to go on a vegetable adventure. So we can even use descriptive words before we try it. We can try to get them to guess what these vegetables are first. Maybe they are familiar with most of them. I'm sure everyone of them has had a carrot. So maybe we can snap it in half and ask them what it sounds like before they bite into it. Same thing with zucchini. They can even, since they're going to be in little medallions like this, they can try to break it in half, see what it sounds like, try to use their 5 senses. And then the sugar snap pea, since they are called snap peas, they should hear a snap. And then tomatoes too. They can taste it and see and give you more descriptive words with that as well. And so that hopefully they'll be encouraged to try it if they see their peers trying it in the circle time. So that's it for a taste test. And there's several taste tests. Some of them are more in-depth, the recipes, but they're pretty simple throughout the whole series. And it's just to get kids encouraged to try fruits and vegetables.
Okay, so yeah, you saw how easy that recipe was. We're gonna prep and wash everything, and then you just basically serve it on a plate or a napkin or whatever you have. And I know tomatoes, kids might be like, ew, but you want to encourage them to want to try it, and hopefully, if they see their friends trying it, they'll be encouraged to try it too. So it's kind of just exposing them to that, at least to get them encouraged to taste it. All right, so any questions? I know the meeting's going to end on me here. If you have any questions, you can keep typing in the chat box. Also, you can email me. My phone number is there. I think, like I said, you'll have my cell phone. I'll email it to you if you need it. And that's it. If y'all don't have any questions, I will end the meeting. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all have a good evening.